Hello my dear listeners, today video will go back to my scheme here of how the real goods are spread around the world today, and I will talk about inflation. I will do projection based on this scheme to the future, to 2020 actually. Okay, it's gonna include the peak of the resources, and it's gonna include the monetary reform, and it's gonna include the gold standard. Okay. So based on the last presentation, we have 10% in the Western world, we have 40% in the BRIC countries, and I have 50% of the population that lives in the third world. And I spread arbitrarily the resources 4-4-2. Okay, so there is a 4-4-2, and that's how it spreads in the population. So if you have here, like, the Western world consume 4 times more than the BRIC countries, and the BRIC countries consume 2.5 times more than the third world, and the Western world consumes 10 times more of the resources than the third world. Okay, so now I based on this spread, I put the salary. Let's say we will take the teacher that work in different countries. Let's say United States, Russia, and some, let's say, some African countries. Let's say Sudan or wherever, Nigeria. Okay, so how come this? I took the salary after finish paying taxes, because around the world people calculate the net salary. Nobody calculates really the gross salary. Let's say this lady maybe, or the teacher, get $5,000, but he's really spending $3,000. So that's why you see those numbers here. So based on those figures here, 4 times this salary is 4 times more than this salary, and this salary, it's 2.5 times more than this one. So for doing equal work, because we have those mechanisms of the wealth transfer, okay, so the teacher are here maybe even doing more valuable work in the community, teaching. There is sitting in a 40 young children classroom, teaching them how to read and write. The value of the work is about the same, but they get paid like this. Okay. And $750. If I check the Russian teacher, how they make, it's about right. The experienced Russian teacher with a good salary can make, it's about the maximum. Okay, I'm sure the disparity is even much higher than this, but this, just take this as arbitrary numbers for now. Okay, so because we have a dollar that transfers wealth to us, we have the IMF that transfers wealth from the poor country to the BRIC countries and to the Western world. So we have this disparity in the wealth. And now, okay, we're gonna move to the gold standard in the next. So we're gonna lose those mechanisms. Okay, people who are advocating for this, okay, to happen, to the gold standard, look what you are advocating for. Okay, and so now, after we went on a gold standard, I say that the 10% of the Western world will consume 1.5 of the 10. The BRIC countries will consume actually more, 5.5, and the third world country will consume 3. Okay, it's again arbitrary number. I would just, it's most likely, in my knowledge and being in those countries, I spend good amount of time on more than 33 countries in the world, and third world countries I can consider like Cuba. I've been Guatemala, Honduras. Okay, so I have good idea how people live in those countries. BRIC countries, I know Russia pretty well. Okay, so I think that Russia is pretty much the best country to live from. Maybe Brazil is good, but China and India definitely very tough countries to live compared to Russia. Brazil I know very little about, and compared to Brazil and Russia, it's really difficult to compare. And but the Western world, of course, I know lots of countries. Like the richest country I know from the Western world is Switzerland and France and Canada, of course, United States. I've been to Germany, Holland, Belgium, a few countries in Europe. Anyway, so now we have those spread of the resources. So the Western will become pretty much like BRIC countries, and the third world not going. They're gonna win, but they're not gonna win too much. They will they will stay pretty much the same. Okay, moving from 2 to 3, spread between 5. It's not gonna give them big increase. But now at the Western we have 1.5. If we go back to our ratio, the BRIC countries have 1.375, and the third world have 0.6. And I compare from this here. Okay, so we had 4. They have we had, okay, so we will have 1.1 time more than the BRIC. Okay, we will pretty much equal, and the BRIC will have 2.3 times more than the third world, and here they had 2.5 times more. So the net losers will be here, obviously, and those will be in the middle will be pretty much the big winners. So go on the gold standard, because they are producing them and they create the most of the real wealth. And now I run the salaries here, so we'll still have our 3 teachers here, and I will now measure from the middle, from the BRIC country. We'll still have our $750, okay, and let's say it's going to be the same in the purchasing power that today dollars. So 1.1 times more, it's give 825. From 3,000 you're going to move to 8.25. And the third world teacher, from $300 they're going to move to 326. Okay, so I divide the 750 by factor 2.3. okay, so now this teacher made $326, 750 and 150 in comparison of 3,750 and 300. And now there is a really important factor, okay, that you have to consider, because we're gonna see the resources decline. So in 2010, real resources, I would say to 2011 it will decline by 25% because of the recession, because of mismanagement, and because of there is just, get too expensive to get out of the ground. The copper, the steel, the whatever, oil, copper, natural gas, wherever, everything is become expensive. Grow food become more expensive because of reckless agriculture. So we will have if we have the same population, okay, if the population growth, it's going to be worse, okay, but I will say the population not going to grow with those conditions that we're going to see. Population will still about the same. We will see the peak population and the decline maybe after 2020. So the decline of the resources minus 25%. So we will have 75% left from the same amount of the population. So now I have to encounter that in my, because remember, what we need to see, it's a real good by per person, okay? It's not like some kind of magic numbers here, magic number here. It's just a money supply, it's just a salary. It doesn't mean like how much goods you have to honor those credit or wherever, those golds or those coins, silver, copper, wherever coins or fiat money people will have. So I will have to reduce now those 5.5 in 3 by 25%, and I get. So if you want to compare to the 2010, how much the Western world will have? We will go from 4 to 1.25. Okay, this is a huge decrease. The BRIC countries, they will go from 4 to 4.1. So there is a little bit of, they will stay pretty much the same. They're not going to feel the difference. And the third world will go from 2 to 2.25. Okay. So they will see a little bit, really slight increase here. And if you want to, okay, if you want to now do the salaries, because I have to decrease the salary by 25% now, because that's the real inflation that I said. It's the amount of good per person. So $820 will be, it's like 618 today. Okay, so the people who earn, the teacher, middle class people, prepare to get $618 in 2010's money, and BRIC countries 562, and the third world, instead of $300, it's 244. So they will see, they will be even worse than compared to now, okay, compared to their purchasing power. And I represent those salaries here. So from 2010, in purchasing power to 2020. Don't care what number is gonna be, trillions, quadrillions, millions, billions, but the people who earn after paying taxes $3,000 will have left with 618 of the buying power in today's money. BRIC countries 750 today, $562, and the third world $300 to $244. So when you guys think like you're gonna, what kind of market you can, what kind of merchandise the people in the Western world are going to be buying, and when you want to rent them apartments, $1,000 or houses, a month, think how much they're going to be making, and it's not going to be, I think there will see migration from here to here, because there is not going to be much difference between BRIC and Western world countries in the standard of living by 2020. Anyway, so please share your opinions. It's a work in progress. Sorry about difficulty to follow. There is lots of numbers, but I hope it will help to understand, and I will see, maybe learn something from the discussion with my audience about this.